Alright, ready for next episode? Oh. In the future, I missed the cue for the next episode. Fuck!
We are the most professional over here at Hal and Dave. More like we've been lost in space so long that the concept of time itself is now foreign.
Yeah, we also got we also deal with our own alien virus up here, people. I recently had...
You thought COVID-19 was bad, but COVID-9000? Ugh.
No, the worst part is that it actually grows like an alien that lives in your chest. I'm calling him Mini Dave until I can do something about him.
Ew.
Shut up, Mini Dave.
Just what we needed, Mini Daves. Actually, no, I gotta chain lightning these guys. Welcome back to Blaster Master Zero.
Yep.
Now we gotta go spot some alien references or something.
Clearly. Look, I already made an alien reference.
No, we gotta see if it's in the game, because sci-fi games love doing that. There's always like some kind of goofy alien thing.
Well, yeah, like in general, well, Alien was such a huge, big turning point in science fiction films.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy to think about it. There was just nothing like it at the time.
Because, like, before you kind of had, like, Star Wars, where it's, like, wizards in space. But, like, here it's just like, oh, it's, like, real life, and they're all, like, basically truck drivers, only in space.
Yeah, it was the first time a film actually decided to focus on, like, lower labor people. In terms of just...
This is one of those goofy rooms where they just throw, like, a large number of common moves at you.
Basically, it's like, just fight the mooks.
Yeah, it's a mook fighting thing. Yeah, Alien's cool.
Fight!
I wanna, I need to go find, if, like, it's online somewhere to go watch, because that's fun. Right. A friend of ours was over here the other night, we watched so many movies.
Yeah, like, Aliens is a classic. Actually, with my dad recently, I ended up watching the Drunken Master films.
The power-up was on the spikes. I wanted it. That's okay. I swore to only use the wave beam in special circumstances.
Yeah. Or else you're a fuck nugget.
It really is just, like, so game-breaking in that way. Unfortunately, they fixed it in the sequel, where using it too much causes it to, like, shrink down to nothing.
Basically, it's like, look, we know you can't use it too much.
Well, I mean, if you experience a wave beam that lasts more than 4 hours...
Thunderbreaker!
Yeah. I realized that that's actually an optional power-up, because the only thing we need to get out of this area was the Crusher shot.
Okay.
Alright, let's get past the Nautilai.
We are the Nautilai.
The plural. Is there a band named the Nautilai?
Probably.
That sounds like... Okay, so the Thunderbreaker shoots lightning straight down, but underwater, everything takes damage. Except for us, fortunately.
The weirdest thing recently, actually, was recently... I was asked to look at a comic where it was about a guy hanging out with Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam.
Okay. Who was the guy?
It was just something...
Was it Batman?
Possibly. Look, Batman hanging out with rock and roll people doesn't tend to go well.
He's like, my name's Batman, and I like your edgy music.
No, you
reminds
haven't...
me of having no parents.
Oh, you don't know the meme. Okay, let me just...
I don't. Sorry.
Okay. Rock and roll is death, crime, and the rage of a beast. Batman's words, not mine.
So we're fighting mutants, apparently.
Anyway, but yeah, that came from Batman's Fortunate Son, which is a weird story of Batman, where the idea is Robin gets into rock and roll and his idol becomes a supervillain. And Batman talks about... It's a weird story. It's mostly about rock and roll to an extent, because there's some music references in there. But it's an odd book.
Oh, that's right. The Crusher shot let us destroy the enemy that was blocking the wall, but we actually need yet another shot to pierce, like, blocks.
Super Fighting Pearson.
I really enjoy the sprite art in this game because it really makes a lot of really good details out of a very limited palette.
Honestly, yeah. Like all the walls and stuff look amazingly beautiful.
Well, I guess we kind of passed by it now that we're inside, but there was like a silhouette of the building we were going into, and they basically just used 2 colors to make it.
That's cool.
And this is an interesting little gimmick mechanic where you have the sensor in the top right that's like hot and cold basically, and tells us how close we are to our target. So presumably we're searching for Fred.
Okay, and that whole thing is like you're close.
I can use this. So the shield throws up a shield, but if you throw it up right as something hits you, it's like a 360-degree counterattack.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, as I said, we're gonna lay out the plasma beam, or no, wave beam. I call it the plasma beam because it reminds me of how powerful the plasma beam is in Metroid. But wave beam.
It's the wave beam.
I don't need any of this stuff. This is kind of what I was saying. Is like if you get good at this game, it kind of becomes really easy.
Yeah, like.
Interesting
that you went through 2 and like you talk about this game and played it all the time.
Oh yeah. No. I was gonna say I love 2 because 2 is like the unexpected sequel because you know what they did to release that, right?
What?
So I hop on YouTube one day and I see, and I subscribe to Nintendo because I'm a big Nintendo fan like that.
Yeah.
And so I see the Blaster Master 2 02 announcement trailer. And I'm like, oh, awesome! I love that game. And then as soon as the trailer ends, it's like available now. So the announcement trailer was the same day that it released. And so I was like, I'm like, whoa. And I immediately hop on the eShop and get it downloaded. And so, like I said, it's the announcement trailer. No one knew that this was in development.
And then it just comes up and it's like...
It's out. So it's like this weird, like, hype. I mean, obviously, I love this game, and I thought it was really good, and I was like, I hope it gets a sequel. But also, this game was... Like, this zone is pretty different from what Zone 2 was in the original NES game. But there's still, like, a lot of kind of, like, parallels and nods to the original game going forwards.
Yeah.
Whereas Blaster Master 02 goes completely off the rails and has nothing to do with any other version of Blaster Master but itself. And they make up an entirely new storyline and world. And I think that was part of the fun of it. Is just seeing Intercreates go ham on like this is how we envision this game to be.
This is now ours.
Of course, they also turn the anime dial up to 11 and break the knob off.
Of course.
Like if this game was like 10. If this game is 10 on the anime scale, then that one's like 22.
We're going beyond anime.
Yeah, they do all the. Yeah, that's also where their sprite art really ramps up, and they have a lot of really detailed sprites and animated effects.
Well, let me tell you about my new Blaster Master playlist guide. This will not be confusing at all. So the first thing you do is you play River City Ransom.
Available now on the Switch Online.
Then you play Blaster Master 2 so you can find out mysteries about Blaster Master 0. Then you play the original Blaster Master.
What? Dude, what if every NES game just coexisted in like the same universe somehow? At different points in time and space?
You wouldn't be the only one who's thought of that. Okay. So there was this...
I know, it's called Captain N the Game Master.
No, actually, there's a weirder one. There was a fan webcomic called Captain SNES that I used to read. Look, it was a sprite comic, man.
Alright, so Captain N upgraded a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's a darker take. It's actually where I first found out about Chrono Trigger. See, I was a little bit late to the party on SNES games.
I grabbed a drink because I knew this boss was lame.
And that was the first time I've seen the Chrono Trigger sprites.
They try to act like these guys are like some kind of threat, and you're just like, oh shit, I missed. Okay, now just shoot him with the striker. But yeah, so you discovered Chrono Trigger that way?
But anyway, well, here's the thing. I never seen sprites that detailed for an RPG on there before.
Yeah, this should be up after our final episode of Chrono Trigger, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching you play that game. And maybe now I'll actually like play it myself. I was holding off on that until we finished it.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Look, it's a fun ass game. Oh god, thank god I decided to go for the gold, whatever that item's called, like the gold stud, yeah.
Yeah.
That helped so much out during that entire fucking game.
That was great. Are we done yet? Boom.
No, we're still grinding.
Next?
I'm
glad that they don't really do this in 2. Because, as it's kind of shown, when they mob you with those little enemies, all you gotta do is hit them with a striker and it's pretty much over.
Pretty much, yeah, fair.
So that was like downtime. That was the filler episode right there.
Yeah, that was super filler.
I like that they go into like dual layer health meters. Just very, very similar like how they did it with Mega Man Zero and stuff. And it feels good actually. Like if you start out with kind of a max or like a maximum to your health gauge, and then it's like no, now you have double maximum. I feel like it's a little more fun than just having your health gauge get bigger.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, it is like visual. This feels good visually.
I know in like Yakuza, you can actually make your health bar ridiculously long.
We're getting warmer again. Oh man, this whole like hot cold thing comes back later in the game.
Hot cold.
Yeah, I'll point it out when we get there. Only here is pretty straightforward, but they really mess with you later on. It's a very like Inti Creates kind of thing, where I find that a lot of the games that Inti Creates makes like kind of start out in a conventional way, and you feel like you know what's going on, and then somewhere near the end they throw like a massive wrench into the system, and suddenly you have to readjust how you think about the game in a really good way.
That's fair. Like, honestly, like, I can understand. Sometimes that can be annoying in some cases where they, like, try to write in a twist or something that doesn't make fucking sense at all.
Yeah,
like,
so far I've really liked how they do it.
Like, at least it's not Bionic Commando.
Yeah. Wait, which Bionic Commando are we talking about here?
Look, bad twist in Bionic Commando.
Yeah, we're talking about, like, 2006?
Yes.
Or whatever that... Yeah.
Your wife is your arm.
Well, hey, I'm very attached to my arm too, but I don't call it my wife.
Pretty much. Like, that's what I mean.
Let's traverse the pink goop.
Or else you'll be turned into a Krang.
Nah. Destroy the Ninja Turtles. Whatever. I know his voice like rises and falls.
Always an interesting voice. Seriously, for what it's worth, I always liked... The 80s cartoon is not my favorite out of the Turtles, but it has some really good bits to it.
Yeah, would you say the Ninja Turtles, the 2003 is your favorite?
Out of all the cartoon incarnations, yes. Not just because of, like, it's true to the comics, but it also fills a lot with different comic book references. Like, one episode is...
Grab you larva.
One episode actually has an homage to Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, nice.
And it's not the jumping up in front of lightning. They actually replicate one of the interrogation scenes from the comic.
Sweet.
And
I've really come to love it when creators reference stuff that they love.
Oh, yeah, no.
I used to feel like you shouldn't do that. Like, you just try to be as original as possible. It's like, nah. Like, people relate to you more when they're like, hey, I like that too. I relate to you.
Look, the creators of Ninja Turtles are pretty upfront with their references with Ninja Turtles as was Daredevil and X-Men. And, of course, other comics at the time as well.
Teenage Mutants. And also ninjas.
Yes. And, like, Raphael's meant to be, Wolverine, which is why he holds the size the way he does usually.
Oh, we nuked that thing.
You know, where he puts the side, like the main side between his.
Yeah, he holds it between his fingers so they poke out like claws.
Yeah.
Laser shot.
That's actually to make him look like Wolverine, which, you know, works.
So the signal has been leading us to each of the power-ups in this zone as opposed to Fred. But now we have the laser shot. So this begins where you can charge your shot, and there's several different types of charge shots you can get. And right now we have the piercing laser.
Okay.
You had to wait for them to jump to be like piercing laser.
Piercing laser.
Piercing laser.
But another, like, little fun thing, like, again, they just make references. It's also why Yasaki Yojimbo is in the show, too. Because...
That's right. Wait, was he created by the same guys, or is
nope,
he just, like,
he was created by a friend of theirs named Stan Sakai, actually.
Okay.
Who has been making Yasaki Yojimbo comics since the 80s. And they're still going.
Wow, really?
And here's the thing.
Like complete continuity, or did he ever stop and reboot?
No reboots at all. Continuity.
No reboots.
And here's the thing about the comic. It's still good.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, like...
How does one do that?
I don't know! He's just managed to stay consistent. Which, there are, like, arcs where they're high points, but it's like, is it any of Yosaki? No, like, no one's gonna say, oh yeah, that part of Yosaki Yojimbo is really bad. You need to skip it.
That's when they jumped the shark. Literally, they jumped the street sharks.
Yeah. Basically, it boils down to, oh yeah, Yosaki Yojimbo, I have to read the newest issue. And that's it. Like, that's all you say. And people are like, no, you have to skip it. It's like, oh yeah, no, I have to read it. Like, it's going on. It has like almost 300 issues, and oh my god, I don't think it actually has 300 issues, but it's close.
It's close enough.
Yeah, honestly, I'm working on a theory that if you actually make 300 issues of a comic, you are driven insane.
Yes, the madness creeps in for sure. Just ask the dude who made One Piece.
No, no, I'm actually thinking of Cerebus.
Oh yeah. I don't know why, but this signal seems different from the one I've been following up until now.
No, I'm curious. I think I'll go
into the cave.
Into the cave without my tank.
I love. I don't know. I guess it kind of relates to my love of mecha anime, where I just love the dichotomy here, where he's a cool dude all on his own, like he's kind of a Mega Man or something, and then he gets the tank as essentially a mecha.
Oh, that's cool. No, dude.
In fact, there's a game that I want to get that came out recently called Panzer Paladin, which is basically like this, only the tank is actually a mecha that looks like a knight.
I really want to get it, also because it also reminds me of a mecha I like called Galliant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we play this game, maybe we'll get a chance to play the other one.
Yeah, I've actually thought of getting it for Steam myself.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I'm also, at this point, super into the idea of, like, supporting indie creators. Because, like, you know, AAA gaming's lost a lot of appeal for me recently. It's just like, there's been some very good games, obviously, like Ghost of Tsushima looks really good. But, you know, there's something really fun about, like, these quirky, like, unique homemade games.
Look,
kind of.
It isn't the new Square Enix Avenger shit game. I am.
Wait, when does that game come out?
Soon. It's in beta right now.
Like, does that look like it's gonna be good or
no?
All right, I kind of sense that from your tone of voice.
No, like I've seen the play tests of the game so far. Yeah.
That sucks because I feel like expectations are probably super high for that game, considering how good Spider-Man was.
Honestly, I really feel like if they didn't include the monetization for stat building...
What?
Yeah, no, there's like a lot of... Look, there's like armors and shit and stats you have to keep track of. And I honestly imagine that's like a monetization thing.
Yeah.
I'm not... I'm not a fan, personally. Especially because I think the Avengers in that game have some of the worst costumes I've seen for those characters.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
How do you... Especially after, like, the MCU did so well with making those costumes like detailed and realistic. How do you mess that up? You just
Honestly,
make a 3D model of what they had in those movies.
They're discount MCU costumes.
Okay.
And
so they went to Party City. They got some MCU costumes.
Well, and honestly, my thing is, I'm tired of all the superhero games basically looking like the MCU now. Like, at least for the Marvel ones.
I feel like most people who played Spider-Man eventually just switched over to the like animated series costume when they got it.
Oh, yes. I did.
It speaks a lot to... wrong weapon.
Alright. When I got this cel-shaded costume, I basically switched over to it as soon as I could.
You're being chased by goop.
Mostly because, to me, it's like... I prefer Spider-Man as a bit of an unrealistic character who is kind of real, like, you know, with Peter Parker.
That's the fun of, like, any of these guys. It's like, it's because they're, you know, kind of relatable, but they're not realistic. So, yeah, it lets you have fun while relating to their real-life troubles.
Honestly, the only thing is, I wish Sucker Punch wasn't so obsessed with trying to make their version of the Spider-Man costume like the definitive one for that game.
You're thinking of Insomniac.
Insomniac, yeah, sorry.
Sucker Punch is Ghost of Tsushima, which is apparently a very good game.
I am sorry, I confused the two very easily.
You know, they've all done things, because Insomniac's had been known for like doing like Resistance, Fall of Man. Naughty Dog did Uncharted, and The Last of Us, and apparently a little-known, poorly received sequel of Last of Us.
Wait, are you thinking of Naughty Dog?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, they did that. Well, because there's like 3 Sony studios is what I was getting at. It's like there's Insomniac, there's Naughty Dog, and then there's Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
And Sucker Punch did like Sly Cooper for a while there.
Yeah. No, Insomniac also did, didn't they do, Ratchet and Clank, or am I thinking of someone else?
Oh, they totally did. I always forget that because I never played it.
Yeah.
I did play Resistance. I thought it was a real fun shooter series.
I actually really liked the
Halo.
3rd Ratchet and Clank game a lot.
I remember, at least for a while there, all of the subtitles in Ratchet and Clank were like innuendo. Oh, here we go. Check this dude out. This guy is actually straight from the NES game.
Wow.
Except for... that's a huge mutant. The signal is coming from there, too. I shouldn't dude bro up Jason because, like, he's kind of generic Pro Tycoon, but he does his generic Pro Tycoon thing very well.
I've seen worse generic Pro Tycoons.
Yeah, well, like... Yeah, fortunately they got over having excessively long cutscenes.
But...
So this thing is totally in the original NES game, complete with segmented sprites, except for they would do that thing on the NES where they would black out the background so that they could like have slightly more detail in their sprites because they didn't have to use black as a color.
Yeah.
When they did that. So actually it's... I've tried very hard to finish the original game since playing this game, and I have not succeeded, unfortunately.
Well, you've been trying, and it's just...
Well, even with the Switch Online rewind function, there's certain parts that are just really janky. Like, I wouldn't even say, like, hard so much. I mean, they are hard, but it's not hard because it's, like, a challenging boss. It's just hard because the game goes insane and flickers from too many sprites on screen, and suddenly you die.
Fair. You know, I actually am now thinking of... I actually know where my first exposure to Matt...
And meet Waifu-chan.
Waifu-chan!
Waifu-chan and Pro Tycoon go very well together.
Yep.
Here we go. This is some of their really cool sprite art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you get Jason and Waifu-chan here.
Open your eyes!
From the moment I held her in my arms, my blaster rifle began to emit this brilliant light. Congratulations, Jason. You've discovered girls.
Are you gonna fill her up with your light?
He's going to fill her world with his light.
You were supposed to fill my world with light!
Devil May Cry is that game that I have always felt like I should play because I think I would really like it, and I just never have.
Did it just play Devil May Cry 3 and you'll probably end up liking it a lot.
Isn't that like the one to play?
Yeah. Look, Devil May Cry 1 has its good points, and I actually think it's worthwhile to go back to.
Because part of why I didn't play it was because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time.
Yeah, and Devil May Cry 2 is the game you go to realize why Devil May Cry 3 had to happen. But Virgil is also one of the best characters in all video games. And I will say that with a straight face because I think he works as both a character and mechanically to the game.
Alright, we have Amnesiac Waifu-chan.
Yay!
Her name is Eve.
Whoa, Eve and Sophia.
Yeah. Which is, I was gonna say, if you know your Apocrypha, that's actually weirdly symbolic.
Honestly, I'm shocked that he isn't named Adam.
Yeah. Actually, I want to know who came up with the names now that you mention it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like...
Because I think Eve as a character came from, like, the novelization of Blaster Master, because apparently they made novelizations of NES games. But Sophia comes from the Japanese version, and then Jason comes from the English game, so they're all kind of like from 3 different places.
Just put it in the...
God, that sound you made was the most, like, discontinuity, blah.
We have everything now!
So now Waifu-chan is going to be our support chick in the tank.
Yeah. Like I said, this reminds me of All-Star Superman. Like, I'll point something out in All-Star Superman. You know that thing he does to get the shuttle in the opening scene back to Earth where he, like, spreads out that electromagnetic wave he gets from being powered up from the sun?
Yeah?
That's actually based on Superman Blue incarnation from 1996, where he had those electromagnetic powers.
Dude, I was totally just bringing that up the other day with some of the other guys. It's like, yeah, the 90s were weird.
Yes! Yes, they were. I should know! I lived through it.
She's all like, oh, well, if you don't want me around, I'll just go. And then he's like, nope, stick around, babe.
I was actually talking about Azazel Batman to an extent, too. Oh, what a weird time.
Industrial area. Alright. If you want to talk to me, choose the receiver icon.
From the subscreen.
There's lots of stuff I'd love to talk to you. It'd be like Metal Gear Solid 2, where like you call Rose and she just talks about their like failing relationship.
You don't pay attention to me!
Okay, yeah, so once you get her, you do get this like Navi thing where you see, and so I'm gonna have to remember to hit this later on because the artwork actually changes depending on if you're in the tank or not, and possibly some other things. So apparently, right now they're like back to back, and she's like she's like the sub pilot of the Sophia.
Oh, that's cool.
So sometimes she'll describe the weapons, and other times she actually like does little bits of lore.
How big is the tank?
It's actually pretty huge.
Like, sorry, I'm just thinking about...
It's big enough to, fit 2 people in a fairly sizable cockpit, and then has all, like, the treads and cannon.
And all those, like, weird liquid bottles that are in the back.
Dude, you don't keep weird liquid bottles in your tank?
Well, yes, I have to, or else the nitro doesn't work.
Alright. Well, we are going to head to the underground area now that we have completed everything that we can currently in Area 2.
Woo.
See you next time, Space Cadets.
Yay, see you next time, and maybe we'll die. Who knows?